for like women who are wanting to get into gaming or they're wanting to get into the gym, like do not care like what other people think. Like seriously, at the end of the day, if you want to play a game, play the game. Like
do it for you.
Do it for you.
All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of Creature Feature, episode 3 today. I have got my emotional support Dino Chicken Nugget plushie, and I am joined with Breezy today.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, Breezy? How you feeling?
It's going good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Of course. I said it's good to have you. We're, as you can see, we're in the studio here, more or less. Look at all the RGB lights.
Yeah,
have a nice little setting.
It's going. It's for sure going.
Yeah. So how many hours a day do you think you spend in this room?
It depends on the day. Sundays, I'm pretty much locked in here the entire day. So I'm not joking. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she obviously has a great space that she set up here. We're so happy to be here with her and her, like I said, to invite us into her home and her space. And so we're just going to have some fun today. And I hope, looking for the questions that we got for you.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So, chicken or the egg situation, what happened first in your life? Did you get more into the lifting or gaming side first?
So for me, I have been playing video games like my entire life. Both my mom and my dad play video games, so that kind of just like rubbed off on me. So I would say that came first. I did play sports growing up, and that's kind of what led me into lifting later in life. But for me, yeah, it was definitely gaming.
Okay, well, like what kind of sports were you into?
So I played softball for about 13, 14 years, and then I also played volleyball as well. And then I did that in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Any specific positions? I said in softball and volleyball.
I mean, I feel like with every person that plays softball, you end up playing everything. For me, I was a catcher and then I played third base.
Okay.
Yeah. And I ended up throwing out my arm because of my shoulder. So.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a lot on the arm. It's especially a catcher that just makes my knees hurt just thinking about the idea of that.
Yeah.
So, okay, nice. And then so we know, okay, you were an athlete. Up through high school, but was there a point or a moment or a person that helped you go from being do more sport based things to more like training when you were doing lifting?
Yeah, so I mean, I went into personal training after high school because I started to realize that I enjoyed more so like the summer training aspect of that versus like actually playing the sport. And that's where I was like, okay, like I want to be in a gym setting. So I went to PT, personal training, and when I was at the gym, that's when I started realizing like, oh, like I see people around me competing. So at the time I was at Lifetime and like Matt was there, Claire was there, Chris, all people from my gym. And they all just like had a sport that they were competing in. And it was cool to see them train versus just like me, I'm just over here like working out, you know? So at that point in time, I kind of told Matt, I was like, hey, can you program like for me for CrossFit? I wanted to do CrossFit because I'm like, I've already been doing all this like running and stuff, but like I want to learn like Olympic weightlifting. And that's kind of like what got me into the sport. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So when it comes to, I said, lifting and, because obviously that's something you do quite often and now obviously gaming as well, was there a moment as well for you in that regard where you're like, I want to take this and dedicate more time to this and this is actually my thing, lifting and gaming?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it kind of started like 5 years ago for me. I decided to start posting some of my gaming content like on social medias, along with like lifting and stuff. And from there, I was like, okay, like people are like, oh, she games every now and then. I'm like, okay, cool. But then I started a YouTube channel because I wanted to like play games. I wanted to connect with my sister. She lives in Oregon. And like growing up, we always played video games together. And so I was like, oh, like, I really wish you were here so we could play this game. And so I started like posting them on YouTube, and then she would watch them and would just like text me while she's watching them. She'd be like, oh my God, like that was so scary. Like this is so cool or whatever. And so for me starting YouTube and doing like lifting at the same time, I started realizing like, dang, I love making videos. I love playing video games. And I've never really showcased that in my personality, like on Instagram and like other social media platforms. So I'd say again, like it started 5 years ago. But maybe like 2 years ago is when I fully kind of was like, all right, like I don't really care what I post. Like I want to show every aspect of my life.
Mhm.
And if people don't like it, then they don't like it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how I
Yeah.
got there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if people don't like it, they don't have to tune in. But,
Yeah.
like, and, I think that's something that a lot of us that create have struggled with. Like, do I create content because I want people to engage with it?
Right.
Or do I want to create content to kind of demonstrate who I am as a person and what I'm into and put things out that I want to create?
Exactly. Yeah.
And obviously, I think it's probably the best of both worlds is like you try to take it, like, obviously, you want to be genuine to who you are and your
Right.
experience and create. And so, but you obviously you want people to engage to a certain degree or not.
Yeah.
But then it's coming to the realization that, like, man, like being true to yourself and doing what you want to do and creating what you want to create is probably the best example. And the people that are for that will come.
They
like,
will.
It takes time.
It takes time. And like you may see people fall off like when you start to introduce the things that you're truly passionate about.
Yeah.
But I think it's way more rewarding to have people who see the whole picture and they're just like, I love that like you are just like genuinely like doing what you want to do, and not necessarily like putting yourself in like a niche, because that's where a lot of people, they're like, oh, like I can't post this because it doesn't match my aesthetic or like this doesn't fit my clean girl vibe or whatever. And it's just like, post whatever you want to post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, because I think it kind of, it's like a life lesson as well that we've already kind of learned coming in, into, being like a 20-year-old where you're kind of coming to terms with like who your true friends are, right? Because like you're like, oh, they like it when I'm more like this versus when they like it like when I'm more like that.
Yeah.
And then you eventually find out that in life that when you're just being who you are, you find your people.
Exactly.
And as a content creator, I feel like it's the same thing. You're like relearning that lesson,
Yeah, exactly.
but in a creation process rather than just being, obviously friends with people. You're like, these people who engage with my content are just like more or less, the way I like find friends and create friendships that are meaningful.
Absolutely. Versus just like a fake facade, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Also being like true to yourself and what you're creating. Yeah. So you said that you and your sister played a lot of video games growing up. Like, what are some like your favorite games that you remember with your sister?
There's so many. I've been on every single console. So like we started off like GameCube, DS, like all those kinds of things, Game Boy. We used to play a lot of like Zelda, Billy Hatcher, Homer Simpson, like Hit and Run, those games. And so there's so much fun playing together. And then like kind of as we grew up, like we started playing like even scarier games. I don't know. We watched a lot of people that played scary games. And so then we were like, oh, like what if we try to do it, And so we would just kind of like pass the controller like back and forth of like, okay, like it's your turn. I'm like too scared now. Like you take over. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I think that's, it's just like a lot of people forget that I remember when people were really getting big for being streamers or gaming online or whatever, it was like the scary games that people were really tuning into. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. Like, I know that because when you think of the first person kind of blew up for being a streamer that was gaming, it was like PewDiePie, obviously.
PewDiePie, Markiplier is a huge one.
And I remember PewDiePie always played this one game at the it was like
Amnesia, The Dark Descent. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that was like the first game I feel like most people like started tuning into people like
playing horror games. Yeah,
playing a horror game.
Yeah, I watched Markiplier and PewDiePie play both of those, and those were the games. Just like me and my siblings, we would sit down and we would watch it, and we are just like, oh, we're kind of like hiding like behind our like blankets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people watch those games because like they're too afraid to play them themselves.
Yeah.
But they still want to enjoy it.
When it feels like you're not alone.
Yeah,
too.
you're not alone.
Like you're experiencing it. It's the same way like it feels always, it's not so scary to play a scary game with your friend in the room with you.
Exactly.
But when you're by yourself, it's obviously
a whole different
experience.
Game. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So when it came to like the lifting world and the gaming world, was there a community that you felt like that was more easily accepting of you entering that sphere?
I would say both of them like were very accepting in the sense of like, gaming, when I first started, I was streaming at the time, and it takes a while for like people to kind of find you. But those people are so accepting, and like I have a Discord now with like the very first like 10-15 people that ever like started following me and like really watching my videos. And we talk all the time. Like we send stuff to each other, like what we're eating today, talk about movies, games, and like it's kind of like my community that I love. But in the same sense, like weightlifting specific, not like just working out like commercial gym, but like weightlifting, I feel like is probably one of the most like welcoming sport that I've ever been a part of, especially
Mhm.
like at Indy City Barbell, because when I started going to the gym, you know, there wasn't that many people that were doing Olympic weightlifting. And
Mhm.
so it was kind of like we're all learning this together. But there has never been a time that I've been in the gym and like someone's brand new, they come into the gym, no one knows who they are, and someone doesn't introduce themselves to them. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh, hey, like, nice to meet you. Like, how
Mhm.
long have you been doing this sport? Like, you instantly kind of know, like, oh, like, you do the same thing that I do. You know,
Mhm.
like, what kind of work it takes to be in the sport.
Mhm.
So I would say both of them are very welcoming. But I would say weightlifting specifically is way more welcoming than just
Mhm.
like streaming and gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it almost feels like since gaming is something that there's so many niches and it's so multifaceted in a way that people can be in their own little niche and whatever. And obviously, it's an online format, so
Yeah.
not that like weightlifters don't meet each other online either. At some in some regard, but like it doesn't seem like there's this weird like buy-in. It was like it's almost like going to like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like, oh, maybe I've like only seen this person a long time ago, or maybe I've never met this person my whole life, but you know, like you've seen them in some regards. Who's like there's already kind of like a connection
Yeah,
just because you
exactly.
do weightlifting,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you kind of suffer the same way I do. So how's it going?
Yeah, and that, and I do feel like Indy City Barbell, when it comes to weightlifting, the group there is just, it's different. Like in
Hmm.
that aspect of like everybody like wants you to be there. Everybody wants you to
Hmm.
be a part of the team. And you know,
Hmm.
that's kind of carried over into like going on trips together. And
Hmm.
so yeah, definitely hands down. But commercial gyms, that's like whole other different story.
Yeah.
Whole other different story. I don't think they're as welcoming because no one really talks to each other at a
Yeah.
commercial gym. They're just kind of like, oh, you're working out. This person's working out,
Hmm.
or like someone's coming up trying to hit on you or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
just
a completely different environment.
yeah.
Yeah, it's where like I feel like yeah, Indy City Barbell and you know weightlifting and you know the community, especially within Indy City Barbell or weightlifting in general, have done a really good job at curtailing and creating a communal kind of feeling and like
Yeah.
familial. Also, I
Yeah.
would say that's very nice. You know, it's like somebody might even make you upset, but it's almost like getting upset with like a sibling because you're just like,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna have to figure this out. But like you know, well, this happened. Somebody did so this and this, but like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like it
well,
is
we're
what
gonna
it
have to figure out
is.
a way.
We'll work through
Yeah,
it.
we'll work through it. Yeah. So I guess more on the gaming side, kind of to transition a little bit. What game? Like I said, I know you're recording a lot right now,
Yeah.
and producing and putting on YouTube.
Mhm.
So, is there a game right now that you're really enjoying to like create clips for and creating content with?
I mean, so the thing with like recording and like doing YouTube is that you're constantly like putting out like 2 to 3 different games like a week.
Hmm.
So like it's like ever changing. It's not like when I was streaming, I would play like a lot of FPS games. I play a lot of Overwatch, Apex, things like that.
Hmm.
Whereas like now, like I'm constantly looking for like a brand new game that's going to absolutely terrify me,
Hmm.
to get, you know, people's reactions out of that.
Hmm.
So right now, I would say like my favorite franchise that I have played is from Chilla's Art. It's like a Japanese horror company that
Okay.
makes scary games, and they have like a very uncanny, like realistic side of the game, like graphics wise.
Hmm.
But they put you in situations that could totally happen in real life.
Yeah.
And so it makes you all the more like on edge because you're just like, oh my gosh, like you truly get transported into the game and you feel like you're there, even though the graphics aren't like, you know, Unreal Engine, the best, like, you
Yeah.
know, things you've ever seen. So I'd
Yeah.
say that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, because like there's a weird thing about like sometimes when games don't have good graphics, but they've got good involvement and they've got like that kind of that hook
Yeah.
that gets you.
Yeah.
And I remember like in my gaming career, because I used to be deep, deep, deep into like World of Warcraft way back in the day.
Ooh,
Right?
yeah.
And so I know a lot of people like their buy-in was that, like, the graphics aren't really what I'm looking for. It's
Right.
kind of like a little boxy, whatever.
Mhm.
But I remember like the hook was just so good that you like I couldn't put it down.
Right.
Right. So I sank like way too much time into that game. But it's like the graphics don't always have to be there, but
They
there's got to
don't.
be
No.
something.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that because like that's usually what hooks a lot of
A
people.
lot
Is
of people is like, yeah, they're like, oh, you're using this brand new system, like the graphics are insane, but like some of the best horror games I've ever played, like they don't have the best graphics, but it's just because they put you in scary environments and like everything else is great, and it's almost like it's not necessarily that the game graphics are bad, it's more so just like it's the style of the game that they're doing. You know, they're not even trying to go for realistic. It's supposed to be like, you know, their own thing.
Yeah, because I mean, even the game, like I said, video games are an art form in
Yeah.
itself, and it's like a lot of people buy into. They're like abstract art.
Yeah.
It's like obviously abstract art as not like doesn't look like anything realistic. I mean, there's hyper realism,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so obviously you want hyper realism, you can get that, right? But like not everybody's into that, and that's because it's
Exactly.
an art form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a preference for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So you're doing a lot of creation, and as a creator, a lot of times, we could talk about how it's hard to show vulnerability and like when you have low energy. Because I don't know, for people that do create in whatever space that you do, especially in social media, obviously, especially when you're doing video format, like a lot of people like to know that you're having high energy and you're always very
Yeah.
optimistic and very much like your mental health is everything's wonderful, sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
But you've made a lot of impactful posts about how there are times where you are low energy.
Yeah.
And like I said, there are like struggles that we have with our mental health, which is commendable to come out and be vulnerable like that, because a lot of creators don't or can't or struggle with that.
Right.
So what would you say is the reason why you decided like to make those posts and be open about that experience?
I mean, so for me, I kind of started realizing myself that like I can't do it all. Like as much as I would love to do it all, I can't. And so I started running into this problem where I was streaming, I was lifting, I work a full-time job. I'm also recording and putting videos on YouTube. You know, making cosplays, posting on every social media like platform that you can. And no matter, yes, I did it all, but like my energy would not be good towards one thing one day. Like one day I go to the gym and I have no energy for that. Or like the next day I'd go to like record a video and I have no energy. Or I would, come home from a long day and then be like, okay, I have to stream for 4 to 5 hours. Like how am I supposed to do that? And so it does take some sacrifice, and like that's why I have stopped streaming, because I don't have enough energy to do it. And I was like, if I start focusing on just a couple of things and really like managing my expectations of that, like I can do it. So that's where I wanted to be open and honest about like, hey, like this is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And I can't keep up with all of this. And here's the reasons why. And I feel like a lot of people appreciate that, because trying to be an athlete while doing all of this is really hard. And so like it sucks for me coming into the gym not being able to put like my best performance, or like I'm missing workouts and all this kind of stuff. And for me to just like post on social media like, oh, hitting PRs, like hitting this and that, and it's like that's fake. That's not real.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, like I missed all these snatches, or like I haven't lifted in 2 weeks because I've been sick and I've been doing this and that. And so yeah, I just think for me it's better to be more open and honest, because other people are like, oh wow, like I do, like that's the same thing that I'm going through. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to manage all these things and it's so draining.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is like at the end of the day, it's like you're being genuine.
Yeah.
And you're being relatable.
Yeah, right.
Which a lot of people like, I think, and that's something I would say, like even the last couple of years, I have loved to see how that has changed, right? Because I think, especially when, people are first really getting into social media, we didn't foresee that being an issue. I said, being like I said, millennial myself, like you get to see like social media pop off.
Yeah.
And then, but you just like one of the biggest things that was wrong with social media is that everybody was just seeing highlight reels of everybody's life.
It's just
comparison.
Perfect. Yes.
And getting in very bad mental states, because everybody's like, oh, look at all these people. Their lives are perfect all the time. What am I doing? Because I'm struggling, I'm depressed, or like I'm anxious, And so it's like, it's creators like you that have helped pull us out of that place.
Yeah.
And by being genuine and being realistic and relatable, because people are, like I'll say a lot of young people, especially, are heavily impacted by creators and it's what they see.
Yes. Yeah. I
And
mean, I've been like heavily impacted by creators too in that sense because like I'll follow people and like you look at their feed and it's so pretty and like they're always talking about like I got this, I got that, I look
mm,
like this. And then, you know, they start putting out like the oh hey, like I've been struggling with this. I've been in and out of the hospital. And you're just
mm,
like, "Whoa, like this it's nice to see that like people are being more genuine about like what's going on in their life because
mm,
it is not like sunshine and rainbows. Like every single person like is going through something.
mm,
And just being kind of like open and honest makes it more realistic for everybody else to just be like, hey, like I can get through this too. You know what I mean? Like if
yeah,
they can deal with all of this, like
yeah,
I can as well. And it's okay to be open about it.
yeah. So I mean, kudos to you for, like I said, being a part of that because it's not easy. I said it's not easy, but it is meaningful and impactful.
Thank
And
you.
so yeah, that's yeah. So let's say you do have, I said, because we all do have these days where
Hmm.
we have low energy and like mental health might be off or something. But let's say that you're like, but like, you're in that mode where like, I'm going to push through it. Like
Hmm.
what are the things that you do to help push through on those days when they're hard?
So it kind of just depends on like in what regard we're talking about. So like for like weightlifting for
Hmm.
me like it depends if like my body is not feeling good like I like to do breath work just getting movement also really helps so like we'll go on walks just trying to like make myself feel better essentially.
Yeah.
But then if we're talking about like gaming, like I do have some days where like I have like this art block where like I don't know like how to create content. I have all these ideas and I'm like pulled in so many different directions that I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, like what do I do? And I just don't feel good. I don't look good. And those are the days that like I mentally am like, you know what? Like maybe it's okay to just like have a day to myself, you know, not
Hmm.
necessarily worry about like, oh, I have to put out as much content today as possible. And so those are some of the things that I do on like my low energy days for sure.
Yeah. There's sometimes just making the choice that like, it's okay to have low energy
Yeah.
and just reset,
Yeah. You don't need to be doing everything all the time.
No, I
Yeah.
said not. You don't have to always be on.
Right.
I said, and if anything, when you turn on, like I said, you're going to be better off for it because you had some time to yourself to help that reset take place.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's so hard. Like honestly, that's commendable too because like I think especially especially if I would say for like the content that gets thrown at me sometimes with my algorithm is like there's a lot of guys that I know that I've grown up with that create content as far as like I've always been about the grind and the
Right.
grind set mentality and always pushing and not giving up. And honestly, that's something that I've always been like, but like I feel like there has to be times that you
There
have to
has
like
to
relax
be.
because
Yeah.
you give it a little bit. You have to give a little bit of time off to really maybe make whatever product you're making next even
Yeah.
better for it, rather than just burning your candle at both ends.
Yeah, I feel like society in general kind of preaches that of like you got to grind, 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 don't stop. Like every single day you should be posting like 5 to 6 things like content
Mhm.
wise if you really want to grow. If you're not doing that, then like obviously you don't care about like what you're
Mhm.
doing and it's like that mentality like has to change
Mhm.
because you shouldn't be going off of someone else's timeline
Mhm.
one, but it's just draining. That's how you get burnt out and like you stop loving like what you do,
Yeah.
and so that's why, like, for me, that's why I stopped streaming and going live because I was getting burnt out because I didn't have enough energy to give people.
Mhm.
And so I was like, you know what? What if I like relax during that time and
Mhm.
put that energy I'm saving towards other things and
Mhm.
I'm giving it way more attention. I'm able to lift better. I'm like able to edit better because I
Mhm.
have more time to myself to like recover, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody needs that
they
at
need
some
to. You
point.
need to sleep. You
Right.
need to rest.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think that's part of that conversation we were having, more or less about being genuine and organic and
yeah.
being a human being,
Yeah,
right?
we're people.
Yeah, people, so we need time. So, but let's say when you are training, so we'll
Mhm.
speak more about weightlifting and lifting
Yeah.
in general. So, like as of right now, I know because like you said, you have switched a little bit what's going on with gaming, but when
Mhm.
it comes to the weightlifting side, what's your split look like right now? And are there any specific goals that you've set for yourself in the immediate future?
Ooh, I mean, so recently I will be totally honest and say that like my training honestly has not been the best. I'd say towards the beginning of the year, I more so started focusing my attention and energy towards like my YouTube channel and trying to grow that. So though there were some days that I did decide to pick like content creation over training. For me last year, I was prepping really well for a competition. I got in a car accident and then I competed the next week after. And that sucked in the sense of like my competition, like mindset. I went into that competition and I was like, I don't really care like what comes out of it. I was still very disappointed in my performance, but I was like, I am not competitive at all. I then did another meet after that and it was the same thing. I did my own numbers. Like I just went out there and had a heavy day. But again, my mindset was like, I am not like competitive. So kind of transitioning into the new year, I've been trying to find like that balance again of like, okay, like, do I want to take weightlifting serious? Do I want to get competitive again? And I am like just now starting to get to that point where I have my schedule lined up that I can give energy towards weightlifting in the aspect of like, okay, like I do want to compete like this year, you know, I do want to train hard. So, normally I'm supposed to be lifting like 4 days a week. I don't know the last time I completed an actual block. Like literally since like last September.
Yeah.
Like it's always been like 2 weeks I've lifted 4 times and then the next 2 weeks it's only 3 because something comes up. And my mindset has not been like, oh, like it's fine, I'll make it up on this day. On those days, I'm like, I can't, like, I am like locked in here. Like I am doing other things. So again, like right now I have finally gotten to the point where I am back at ICB like full time. And so like the training environment there is amazing. And the people you live with, everybody's competing. So it's going to like motivate me more. But I am now in the spot where I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to like get serious about this again. So that's what my workout routine looks like now. But yeah, it has not been the best.
That's okay. I mean, I think, you know, once again, you're being, I love like how you can be vulnerable and be like real with us because in truth, a lot of us athletes don't like talking about how we can be, there's moments in like in our training and our blocks that we are inconsistent.
Right.
But I think everybody is guilty of that to a certain degree or not. Right. Yeah. So like, I know for myself, that there's weeks where I skip my accessories. Right. Yeah. Sorry, coach. Yeah. There's days that, you know, like there's just too much going on. It's just like, I'm not going to get to this workout today. Right. But the idea is that you have to have a short-term memory. Yeah. And Matt and I talked about this a little bit is that, you know, like if you miss a day or you miss a lift or you miss doing something, the idea is that, you know, don't get bogged down and down on yourself for doing it. Like pick yourself up, like reevaluate what you're trying to get done. Right. Set some goals, think about what you want to accomplish and move forward. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Don't say that the worst thing you can do is get dejected and down and out because it didn't happen exactly the way you wanted it in the time that you wanted it. Right. Yeah. But like how moving forward, how do we change it? Because we can't change what's already done. We can't change it. Yeah. It's already, like I said, we just got to learn from it and move forward. So yep. Yeah, it's tough. And like, so I guess like, is there a specific like approach or mindset or mantra that you like you're going into with your weightlifting and like even gaming now moving forward now that you've reevaluated and goal set for what you want to accomplish in weightlifting? Yeah, I think I posted about this kind of here recently and it's just like the what if mindset. It's from Matt Frazier. He talks about it a lot, but in his training, which obviously he's like one of the best athletes like ever, he talks about like how he never gave himself that what if scenario of like, what if I would have trained harder? What if I would have incorporated this? What if my diet would have looked like this? And he's like, I don't want to give myself any reason to say what if, you know, I want to be able to go out there and say like, I gave it my best and I gave it my all. And that's kind of like the mindset that I'm trying to transition into is like, I don't want to say like, oh man, like what if I would have actually completed all my blocks, you know, during training? Like, would I be way better than I am now? And I know the answer. It's yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if like I can answer yes to all those like what if situations of like becoming better and progressing, like there's no reason that I shouldn't be doing that, you know? So that's kind of the mindset that I'm going into with training and gaming as well, because like
the biggest thing with like content creation and YouTube and stuff like that is just like consistency. And that's the exact same thing with weightlifting. It's like you need to show up to the gym, and it's like I need to record videos. Like you need to post a lot. You need to lift a lot. Like it's the same exact thing, and I need to be able to do both and give my energy to both.
Yeah.
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 What
Yeah.
if?
You know, what if?
Don't leave what if for what
There's
if.
no what ifs.
there's
No
just-
what ifs. It's
yeah.
just I gave it my best, and if it didn't work out, then I'm gonna try something else.
I mean, you have nothing to be upset about.
I have nothing to be upset about.
100%. So obviously, with all the stuff that you do and you try to juggle, there has to be time. We've already talked about it a little bit, but but more specifically, when it comes to coming off of answering those what ifs, what kind of routines do you like to do to help yourself recover? We talked about walking a little bit, but is there anything else, like I said, that you liked how to unplug or to actually physically or even mentally recover from all of the stuff that you do?
So I kind of mentioned it earlier, but like breath work is amazing. Stretching, after a long like day, I love doing that. I'll like when we're watching TV and stuff like that, I like to get out the yoga mat, stretch, just like relax my body a little bit. But besides that, I mean, that's pretty much all I do to relax in that sense. Gaming wise, I never relax. I don't play any games that are like super like, ooh, like I feel good playing. I probably should. It would probably make me feel better mentally. But everything that I play has my heart rate like through the roof. And I'm
there's
like
no
normally
slice of life for you.
no, not in that
in
sense.
that regard,
yeah.
yeah.
But so yeah, those are the kind of things that I do. But also just every now and then having a day where I do nothing. That's very rare. But like it is such a good like reset. And sleep. Oh my gosh, I can't. People need sleep in their life.
Yes.
Yes.
People ignore that so much. It's just crazy. The people I talk to that are like, I'm just really trying to like make a positive change and everything. I'm like, how you sleeping? They're like, sometimes
like
6 hours.
3, 4.
Yeah, last night I was up till like 3 in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know, like literally what
you have to rest and recover.
And for me too, like I'm not gonna say I'm a grumpy person in the morning, but I kind of am. But if I don't get enough sleep, like my entire day is essentially thrown off because of how much I do. Yeah. So like not getting that doesn't allow me to like show up to everything that I need to show up for, Yeah. So good sleep. It's good for you.
Your body needs it. I mean, it's obviously, it does it for a reason.
It is required.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when it comes to your lifestyle, are there any supplements, like I said, that play a big role in what you do and like in your routine? And what do you look for in a brand when you are trying to incorporate supplementation?
Creatine. Creatine is super important for me. Water, obviously. I do take some other things like, what is it called? It is like Chastree. I take Chastree. That's like for like women's health. That's really good. Vitamin D, all those kinds of things. But the biggest thing when you're looking at like a brand and like, should I be taking supplements from them? It's just like, okay, is it clean? Where does it come from? Is it backed up? Does it have all the good things that you need? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's super important to get supplements. One of my best training blocks I ever had, I was taking so many supplements. I was like regimented morning, nighttime, taking it. And when I went to competition at the time, I had a huge like thumb wrist issue. I hadn't been able to snatch for like 2 months prior. It sucked. I was the lightest my like body weight ever was, and I PR'd everything. I like still haven't even hit those numbers since. That's like two years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that was like, I then like later on in life stopped taking supplements for a while, and I was just like, man, how is it that I was able to like do this at the lightest body weight? And I'm like, I think supplements may have really helped, because it was like a year I was taking them for. So it's just good.
It might have helped supplement something.
Yeah. Maybe some PRs.
Yeah. So you're a woman in, gaming.
I am a woman.
Yeah, you're a woman in gaming culture.
Yes.
Gaming culture, and as well as in weightlifting culture.
Yeah.
And so obviously, like I said, sometimes we can falsely perceive those as like male dominated, like facing things.
Absolutely, yeah.
So especially like I think like I said, a lot of times, and like I said, culture has come a long way.
Yes, for sure.
Fortunately,
Yeah, it wasn't always like
it
this.
wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
And so, but once again, it's people like you that like women like you that have helped break down those like how people perceive things, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, there might have been, I guess, how would I put it more or less in words, that there might have been challenges
For sure,
to
yeah.
have breakthroughs in these fields.
Yeah.
And so what were some of those challenges when you were trying to curve out a space in this that you faced?
So I will say, starting off, that I think both, like, for women, getting into the gym and also getting into gaming has like the same like kind of aspect. Not necessarily weightlifting, but like a lot of women, they're afraid to go to the gym. They're afraid because they don't know what machines to use. They're afraid of what people like are watching them the entire time. And so there's always this stigma. Like they're like, oh, I don't want to like get all bulky. Like I don't know what to do. People are looking at me. And it's like, just go to the gym. Like lift some weights. Like no one's watching you. Like you're supposed to be doing this for you, not for anybody else. And the same sense of like gaming, like it is scary getting into lobbies and group chats, you know, with people in games, because the things you hear, it's not even like, you know, you're playing your best and, you know, they're like, oh, great job. You know, you just speak and it's immediately like you get slandered with a lot of things like in the gaming world. That has come a long way, and it has been more so like there's only certain games that are like more so toxic than anything. But I think I went through both of those. Like I remember when I first started going to the gym, I was afraid of like just trying out a new machine. Like I knew how to do a whole bunch of stuff, but like I was just so afraid of like going down the rows to find what machine I was looking for. You know, it's like, oh, I need to do this like hamstring curl. Like, where's it at? It's like, you know what? I'm just going to skip it. Like, I don't want to look stupid right now. At the flip side, gaming, like for the longest time, so I played Overwatch, very toxic game. And when I first got into it, I literally never talked at all. Like I was not the person. No voice chat at all.
Voice
like
chat off.
Yeah, because you know,
That's
like sometimes
crazy.
people will be like, Breezy, like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What am I doing?
Yeah.
But I got really, really good at the game. And so it started becoming this thing where I was like, okay, like maybe I'll start talking every now and then. But it wasn't until I actually found like my like best friends. I've been friends with them for like 7 years now from gaming. Playing with them and being able to like, not necessarily like gang up on somebody, but they kind of allowed me to have that voice in gaming, because my stats would be like way better than literally anybody else's on the team or the other team. And I was like, you know what? Like you literally have no room to speak. Like you have nothing at all. And so I would like kind of start giving it back to other people. But I think for me, like being able to have a team, like just find a team, find people who are like-minded as you, who will speak up for you on your behalf. That is the biggest thing for me that kind of changed my mindset of like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you're just going to have to deal with that still to this day in the gaming world. If you are, you know, a woman wanting to play games, it's kind of like it's a part of the job. Now, so.
Yeah, that's so true, because I would have to agree. Like I said, obviously I've gamed before in my life. And like, I feel like some of the most toxic places I've ever been were on games and, like I said, lobbies and whatever, where you just hear things that you feel like you don't know why people would say things they do.
No,
they're
you
just
don't.
like the most out of pocket things, right?
I mean, there's been times where like we've gotten out of matches and like we'll just randomly be getting like a team call from like someone like on our team and they're just screaming at us like immediately. And now we're all just screaming at each other. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, we're just playing a game. Like, it's honestly, it's not that big of a deal, but you just learn to go with it.
Yeah, that's why like it's at least nice and refreshing when it's just like that one kid that's singing in the background for some reason. I feel like that's like every other lobby too. Just like, dude, turn off your voice chat. What are you doing? But
what I would say to that though, for like women who are wanting to get into gaming or they're wanting to get into the gym, like do not care like what other people think. Like seriously, at the end of the day, if you want to play a game, play the game. Like
do it for you.
Do it for you. Have fun. Find friends to do it. Know that, you may have some comments made, but like, don't listen to it. You know, same aspect, go to the gym, lift with some friends, like watch YouTube videos on machines, you know, or ask like a personal trainer at the gym. Like they will show you, they will guide you. But like, again, you're not doing this for the people who are at the gym watching you. Like, you're doing this for yourself. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know? And one of the things I will say that is changed my mindset kind of on that is like someone said, like, for content creation, right? They're like, you see like these influencers in the wild and they're like, oh my God, how embarrassing. She's out there like with a tripod and like all this kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, well, I just made like $1,500 from this one post. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody was paying you to do this and you enjoyed it, like, you would look at what you're doing a lot differently. You'd be like, I mean, you can laugh at me, but like, I just made more money than you. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, like, take that mentality and put it towards the things that you love, because eventually when you do start making money, it's like, oh wow, like, that's so cool. Like, I had this mentality the entire time and I'm just doing it because I love it.
Well, yeah, and I think that's so like true and like a great point about people that create anything, and like are artists or whatever. Like we were jokingly listening to like Judas by Lady Gaga, but
Yeah.
like, to get ready for this, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I just remember a long time ago reading a piece about her and like how nobody took her seriously at first when she was trying to make music and everything like that. But like the thing is, like, if you love something and you put the time and effort to do it, and then you find that it compensates you, like, you'll find that most of those people that were kind of laughing at the beginning were the ones that now are just like, oh, that's so cool what you. So obviously we talked about how, like, it takes so much time from your day to try to juggle between what gaming and clipping and making videos and then also training and lifting, all that stuff. Do you ever feel the pressure from people? Do they ever try to put any pressure on you to be like, oh, why don't you just like commit to one or the other? Like, why don't you just like pick a lane and stick to it?
Oh, for sure. Like, when I first started kind of introducing like certain things, like, a lot of people were like, oh, like, you should just do only fitness content, you know, or like maybe you should have like a separate page that's all of your gaming stuff. And as cool as that is, like, it just sucks having it spread out, you know what I mean, when I could just have it all on like one thing. And that's kind of just how I've done it now. It's like, okay, like, I'll just put everything in one, and it's gone way better than I have imagined versus what it used to be.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like, you can't just let that kind of pressure like build up. I think for me, like for YouTube, for example, I've had some people that have been like, hey, like, when is this next part like launching? And I'm like, like, it's not necessarily pressure, but it's more so of a reminder of like, oh yeah, like, I do need to finish that series. Like, thank you for the reminder. You know what I mean? But it's not like like, oh, if you don't post like 6 times a week on YouTube, you're not going to grow or something like that. It's more so of just people keeping me like accountable in that aspect, which I do enjoy every now and then.
Yeah, we all love some accountability from
Love it,
our
yeah.
communities. Yeah. It's like not feeling forced, but feeling, like I said, held accountable.
Yeah, held
it's not a
accountable,
better
but
way to
also
put it,
it's
really.
kind of a reminder that someone's like, hey, I liked what you were posting. I want to see more of it. So that's kind of more so of like what I look at it is like, oh, like, they really like this series. They want to know what happens next. It's not like you're not meeting your deadlines. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's nice.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, when it comes to whether you're creating videos, it's on YouTube, whether you're lifting, whether you're, I said, just generally just putting out that organic stuff, like about reassuring people they can be who they want to be. Like, what do you want people to be the main takeaway or the takeaways when they watch you and they engage with the content that you create or the person that you are? What do you want them to take away from that experience?
I mean, so it's definitely kind of changed over the years, but my biggest thing that I want people to take away from me personally is, one, being yourself, right? Like, authentically you. Like, doesn't matter like what you're into. If you like chopping wood on YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, make a YouTube channel about it. I know for me personally, like, one of the things I like to do is, like, I've had people reach out to me saying like, hey, like, I put on your YouTube videos in the background while I'm doing homework. And I'm like, whoa, that's a full circle moment, because that's what I used to do growing up. You know what I mean? So I want to be that person that no matter if you're like truly following along like my series, or like if you just have me on the background while you're doing homework, or maybe you just need like something to focus on because life is scary as it is. I love being that person for someone because someone else was that person for me. You know, and then just translating that to like social media is like, one, you don't have to look your best in every photo, every video that you post. Half of my videos that I post are like literally me making the most disgusting faces because of like these jump scares that are happening.
Yeah.
I'm making the most like crazy noises as well.
Yeah.
But like it's fine to like not post all of your highlights. It's okay to, you know, just post like what your real life is, you know. And the people who are going to appreciate that, they're going to come a long way and they're going to love your content even more and stay, versus, you know, if you're trying to still like appease like society and just like what everybody else is doing, like you're truly never going to be happy in what you're doing. So that's kind of what I want to be known for, is someone who's like kind of changing the mindset of that. And hopefully one day that can help somebody. So.
Wow. Really well put. That was a really good response, and that's very commendable. And you're trailblazing out here, and so we appreciate you for it. Thank you. But we're gonna move on to rapid fire round.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I hope you are ready.
Hold on, I need some caffeine.
You need some energy for that because it's kind of come at you quick. So
all right.
Favorite lift on a bad day?
Cleans.
Game you could stream forever or take videos of and never get tired of?
Batman: The Arkham City.
One lift you never skip?
Cleans.
Go to a hype song before a heavy pull?
Kalinka.
What?
Next question.
Kalinka.
Kalinka.
Kalinka. Okay, sorry, not familiar.
It's a good
That's
song.
my bad, guys.
It's a good song.
Most rage-inducing game moment?
This one's kind of long, but one time Matt challenged me to play Halo after I hadn't been playing FPS for a couple of months, and he said that if he won, that I would have to eat an olive. I can't stand olives; they're disgusting. And he
A black
did
olive?
Something. It's an olive. It was disgusting.
just any olive,
It was in a jar, juice. Ugh. But yeah, he beat me, and it's not fair. It's actually not fair because I had not been playing FPS games for like months, and he was playing every single day. So yeah, I raged, and then I didn't talk to him for the rest of the day after I ate that olive.
All right, we're gonna have to follow up on Matt with that story. PR you're most proud of so far?
Probably PRing my snatch and my clean and jerk in front of my family in competition.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cute. So one piece of gym equipment that you would take to a deserted island with you?
Like a heavy kettlebell.
Interesting. Post lift meal or snack?
Dino nuggets. with rice, and on the side ranch and buffalo sauce, preferably.
Ooh, interesting. I like a little Midwest twist on it.
Definitely Midwest.
All right. So chat moment that made you laugh out loud.
Oh, geez. Chat moment that made me laugh out loud. Probably accidentally streaming and not realizing it. And everybody told me. That was fun. Good time.
Favorite gaming console of all time?
For nostalgia reasons, PS2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was one of my favorites too. So I respect that answer.
I played a lot of fun games on there. I still have it. It's down there. In there.
Oh, well, we're done here, guys. We're going to go play some PS2.
Yeah, time to play some games.
So what's next for you, Breezy? What's coming up? So you got any big projects coming up when it's in the gym, with your YouTube career going on, or maybe even outside of both? What's going on? What's happening? What's next?
What's next for me? I mean, truly, it's just kind of growing and, you know, building the community that I already have. Like this year has been really crazy for me in the YouTube aspect. Like I hit over 10,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for me. So just being able to consistently post videos. I mean, if we're talking like goals wise, like, I mean, down the line, I would love to go to like conventions and like do meet and greets with like people who watch my videos. I think that would be really cool. Again, that's a long ways away. But then like for weightlifting wise, getting back into that competitive mind state, competing and, you know, hitting some of my all-time best while like still maintaining like a really good mentality around the sport.
Okay. Dope. So for people to be a part of that, where can they find you, follow you? Time to shamelessly plug yourself now. Go for it.
Here's the plug. You can follow me at Breezy F Games on YouTube and Twitch. Breezy F Baby with 4 Ys on Instagram.
There we go. Go follow her. Be a part of her journey. I said, so because I just want to thank you so much for coming on the pod today. So
Thank
it's
you
been
for
great to
having
have
me.
you.
I
As
really
all the
appreciate it.
lights, the situation, it's
We're here.
awesome. It's not nearly as hot as train tracks,
Yes.
as Matt will be able to tell you as well. So just so good to have you on to show up, like I said, and to demonstrate that strength isn't just one dimensional. Like I said,
No,
you can
not at
apply
all.
it to so many different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
That taking rest when you need it is a part of strength in itself.
Yeah.
To be vulnerable is a part of strength in itself.
Yeah.
And to balance all those things, to show people that you don't, like I said, you just be you, be genuine, be organic.
Yeah.
Reassure yourself that whatever you're trying to do and accomplish, you don't have to be like anybody else. You can
No.
be your own person. You can, whatever you're interested in, go do it. And don't ask yourself, what if, just commit to it. So on that, I want to thank you once again for coming on and showing us how to really level up with Creature. And we're out, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.